Hello everyone, this is the Deputation, here to give you a layout update. I have not given an update in a very long time, and I've been really meaning to, but a lot of times I push it back because I've got work to do on engines, and more important things to do besides updating the layout, because the layout is done. So it's called a layout update, but really the layout's not even being updated. It's basically just all the engines and all the projects that I'm working on. And most of the work consists in front and out back, or even to the sides of these shops. And I'll be giving you an overview of all the projects on them, because I haven't updated in a long while, but nothing really dramatically has changed. All the scenery and everything is still 100% perfect. In fact, it only looks better and better. All the ballasted track, and I just cleaned the entire main line once more, so all is shiny rail now. See, I have indentations in my hands, no black stuff. That's how good my rails are cleaned. I don't know why I went back over here, but like I said, not really anything has changed on the layout, but except for the switch is now ballasted. I won't be ballasting any of these because it's just shop area tracking as needed to be. But you know, more ballast is added, like the section right there was all newly added ballast a few days ago. And I'm over here already. You can look, there's my new Atlas, should be 40. And these are two old Athearn heavyweight coaches that I got at the Bakersfield train show along with my 4449 Daylight. And they were mismatching colors. One was a Southern Pacific kind of dark, kind of this color tank car, like that, kind of faded color Southern Pacific, rusted trucks. And there was another undecorated one that was a good black color, but I decided that, hey, might as well repaint them and make them a matching consist. So, kind of tripped. But painted them black, the shells, and cleaned all the wheels, cleaned up the trucks. I was going to paint the trucks at first, but decided, nah. I ended up painting the trucks on whatever one was the metal truck chassis. There's a plastic one that I didn't do. I think whatever one was the metal one was the one I actually painted. But other than that, I didn't do anything else to them. I haven't put the windows back in. They're all sitting right there. And they look really good. A little bit dusty, been sitting in the siding for a little while, but I'll be finishing those later on over the course of summer. Now, finally out of school, now I got 3 months of, pretty well, 2.5 months, 2.5 to 3 months of doing stuff that I want to do. So now I have more time to put to the layout and do more stuff on engines and whatnot. Here's view outside the shops. Whole mess of stuff going on over here. I had to do a lot of body work, shell work to the my IHC Alco C415. These were rare. In real life, they're rare. Center cab, or kind of off-centered cab switchers. It's right there. And it had a bunch of cracks in the shell that needed filling up with plastic glue, which in time I did do. There's one right there I filled up. There's one on these sides. Plastic as you cut off, I filled up. You can kind of see it's like kind of coated, sealed on the top. And there's a really big crack on the. There you go. You see that big crack on the top? It's all sealed up now. So now no more shell cracking. Reglued some of the handrails back down. So it's pretty much good to go. I have to do a lot of truck work to it because these little braces on the outside of the trucks that hold it onto the actually, like the truck covers themselves, they have these little pretty much like braces that hold onto the both side ends of the trucks. They broke, so I had to find a supplementary part to keep that on there. So for now it's just been sitting, but the motor has been, I lubed up the motor. I tested it and greased all the gears, and they're all running really good. So this engine is basically ready to go, but with the exception of the truck work. You can see my block 1.4 in pieces. It's a cracked drive axle. You know, I don't even know which one it is. I couldn't figure it out. And instead of me tooling around with it and trying to do something with it, I'm going to be sending it back into Bachmann with $25 to be getting the brand new DCC versions. DCC ready. I don't have DCC on board, but I'll be sending in to get the new version sometime this summer as well. I'll also be sending in the 4449 Daylight I got, which is an old Bachmann Plus along with this one. The Daylight is running perfectly fine. I keep it well oiled and lubricated and cleaned, so it's a perfect runner. But I really want to get the new ones. I really like the new Santa Fe 484s because they've got the realistic looking wheels and rods, like they're all metal and black painted on the new ones, and they actually look real. And the stenciling on the tender looks a lot more real than it does on this, and it has a tender light, which I love, and I'm pretty sure the new daylights do as well. So it's a better deal overall for sending two older Bachmann engines with just like $50 and getting two brand new ones for like half the cost. So I don't mind doing that at all, and that's what I'll be doing. You can also see my Bachmann 060 number 1277 is in like a million pieces. Trying to summarize it up kind of quickly, but I was removing. There's a lot of, ever since I started using the smoke unit, a lot of rust has started showing around the smoke box, and it's heavily corroded the smoke box and the whole top part of the boiler. So I was removing the boiler to clean out all the rust and everything. I took off the boiler. I was trying to get the cylinders off so I can get the smoke box off better. And then when I was trying to remove the cylinders off, like gently, I wasn't even trying to force them off. They actually got stuck in the little pipes that you see go into the frame are now stuck in there. So I have to literally cut around them somehow, and kind of, after I cut around them, pull them out and flatten the surface so I can put the cylinders back on. Probably creating new pipes or something like that. Yeah, but this is a nightmare. I mean, this engine is now going to need a lot of work, the cylinder work. The running gear is probably beat to hell after 2 years of continued almost weekly service. The boiler's over there, it's all cleaned up. Well, not really cleaned up, it's all dusty, but it's fine. And the smoke box and the whole boiler is cleaned off of rust. No more rust on that. And the wheels, which I'll be inspecting later because I want to make sure that they're good to run. And the main rods. There's the tender. The tender's fine. Yeah, but that's a slow project of mine. Another major project, which you can kind of see in the shop, is another Monto 040. I really never mentioned that I did finally finish, after 5 long years, my dad's old Monto 040, which I had appropriately renamed SCVR number 5, Santa Clarita Valley Railroad, which I live in the Santa Clarita Valley, so I wanted to make my own custom engine for that. And I finally got a parts supplier off eBay. It was actually exactly a month ago, because I got it on April 20 something. I got it a few days before my birthday, and once I ordered that, like a few weeks before I ordered my parts supplier, I said that my birthday was going to be the deadline. So when I want the engine completed, and I got the parts supplier, I think 5 or 6 days before my birthday, and it was basically ready for my birthday, but it was not a really great runner because I had not adjusted the motor as well as the contact points on the tender. So it really didn't start to run like a champ till about a few days ago, when I did some more fiddling with the trucks and cleaned the wheels better, the truck wheels better, make sure all because the tenders are very fragile with the tender frame. I learned this from a couple of guys who were experts on this old stuff, that you have to keep the bottom of the tender frame clean, at least if the parts of the trucks are, so it can conduct electricity easier. So now that I did that, it is a perfect runner. I really don't want to run it, but I'll take it out. The only thing I haven't done is bolt the boiler down, because it temporarily is using my IHC 7809's smoke box storefront for now, because I didn't have anything else, and it looks really cool. But this is the look that it'll have. See, hopefully I'll be finding a parts supplier, Mahano 260, somewhere along the line. Probably not off eBay, because I really don't need to, but hopefully I'll find it one at a train show sometime. And if hopefully the 260 gets black so I can already have a black spark box door, but it's not all painted. But for now, it's just using number 7, 8, or 9s, just for show, but it makes it look really cool. And here's the completely rebuilt new tender, new coupler, new handrails, new trucks and wheels. The old trucks and wheels are on another engine, which I'll be getting to in a second. It's got new, completely running gear assembly, new motor. The only thing original on it is the boiler, the frame, and the cylinders. Everything else has been replaced, or it's basically just been rebuilt. Well, not rebuilt. At first, everything was going to be rebuilt, but now it's all new. Yeah, but I love this thing. It's a work of art to me. It is really quiet. She'll be running every now and then, but I really love how this restoration turned out. I mean, 5 years, and you've seen a few videos of me talking about it, and you can go back and look at them, and you can see where it was at that time. And to look at it now, it's just astonishing. So now I got my favorite and my most major project is now out of the way, and I can finally enjoy it. It sits with all the favorites in the main shop, so I couldn't be happier. Oh, this is a long video, but hopefully you'll stick and watch it. But here's the other project. See, ever since I got that part supplier, I had a spare tender, which I already rebuilt, as well as a spare boiler, a frame, and I had all the original parts off SCVR number 5. And I kind of forgot that I didn't hook up the drawbar yet. I gotta push the actual engine out. There we go. Whoops. Just knocked it off the tracks. So after the restoration number 5 is completed, I realized I had a spare boiler, frame, cylinders, number 5's original wheels and rods, as well as a already newly rebuilt tender, because I rebuilt this tender thinking it was going to go for number 5, because I found this one at a train show, and I needed one at the time, so I rebuilt it. But then I always had problems with the contact points, I never could get it right, the weighting was off, so when I got this new part supplier, I said, hey, why not just use the tender? It might be better. So I did. So now the older tender has a different tail light, which I had in the original handrails off number 5's original tender, the first one she ever had. So this tender's done. I just gotta put the coupler back on. But this is the tender number 5 was supposed to have, then got changed to a newer, better one. So then I decided that I didn't want a bunch of parts lying around the back of my shop, so I said, hey, why not make another project and call it SCVR number 99? Because I had 2 cabs number 99, so it made no other sense beside to call it. It made no sense not to call it number 99, so that's what it is. I gave it new axle bearings, and then the wheels are able to rotate freely. I still need another crank pin to hold in the other side rods, because the other crank pins I have aren't the right size, so I might need to find yet another part supplier just to finish off this former part supplier's restoration. The only thing I need are valve guides and a drawbar. Everything else I've got. The motor is currently out because I was having problems fitting a screw to hold it down, but I'll be figuring that out. But it does run. I did test this thing a little while ago, but for now the motor's out. But it's got a newly painted boiler, frame, cylinders. The tender was already rebuilt, so this engine basically started as a brand new engine when it came to its rebuild. It's got a newly polished bell and handrails. See, that's the unique part about these both engines, is that number 5 has basically half original and half new parts. They're like half and half. Half the parts came from number 99 for number 5, and number 99 half the parts came from number 5 originally. Because for number 5, I wanted almost everything to be brand new, because if I was going to do the restoration, I had to do it right. That's a major project I have going on. It should be done by the end of this year, so it's a long-term project. I won't be working on it too much, because the new paint is just sitting in the shop to avoid dust cover. Quick glance in here, you can see number 25, 1601, my new Climax, Montu 04, number 33. There's my River Ossico 60. There's a spare smokestack with a spark arrestor for the Climax, but I will not be using that. I added an oil bunker to the Climax to make it more West Coast. Oh, and here's another spare boiler for number 5. See, this is an all metal boiler, and originally I was going to use it on number 5, but I realized if I did that, I couldn't put the cab that letter number 5 on this new boiler, so there'd be no point. It's like I named it number 5 basically just because of that cab, and if I couldn't put that cab on, it wouldn't be called number 5. So stuck with the original boiler, which is still perfectly fine. But I have a spare one that's newly painted. It's just been in the shop, so it's got no dust on it. I'll show you it. Shiny boiler. I have many spare boiler appliances too, like a spare bell, a couple spare handrail spokes, which actually hold them in, and I think I have a few handrails too, but I don't need it. That boiler is just a spare if I need it. It's a long video, so I still hope you guys are watching it. And 425 is just outside of the shop because number 99's in it. There's my Bachmann F7. I think it's the first diesel locomotive I've ever had. The first engine I ever had was 709. But I think this was the first diesel that's in need of a lot of heavy wiring work and motor work as well. It's a very long-term project. It's probably the last on my list, but I'll get around to it. I got nowhere else to store my new little 40s. Well, this one's not new, but my tea kettle is. You just saw it in the last video, but they just sit out here. They're perfectly runnable and fine. I just did a double header with them a few days ago, so that'll be in the HL Locomotives in Action 5, which I have barely even started filming for. And I switched the bodies of the Tyco Plymouths so that the better looking ATSF body would be on instead of the old Transformer engine body. This is the original frame for the ATSF engine. It needs power torque work. I'll be doing that eventually as well, but for now I get to enjoy the ATSF Sportstrom. Here's number 14 sitting outside. It is fully operational. I gave it a new drawbar. I repainted the cab because it was all scratched up, and I re-oiled and lubed it, did some running gear repairs and some rod repairs, and it is a better operation than it was before. Because I took it out a few days ago and it ran terrible after giving a new drawbar, so I had to do a lot of adjustments and repairs on it, but now it is a perfectly fine running engine. Trolley car back here was disassembled around Christmas. Around Christmas time it was disassembled and was thoroughly checked and cleaned and gone through. Now it's a fantastic runner, just sitting back there. Keep this under 20 minutes just barely. And here's the main storage facility. See, there's my new Montour Classics 462 that has an amazing smoke in it. That we saw in the video, I didn't put any smoke oil in it. This thing puffs more than an MTH engine. I'm not kidding. This thing does not idle with smoke, but when only about 40% throttle, it will full blast smoke. It is unbelievable. My brother was blown away by this engine when he came home from college and tested it. So it'll be an HL Locomotives in Action 5. It'll be the star of that because of its smoke unit. I was so amazed. I've got so many good videos of it, so I can't wait to show you in that next video. Here's the new 060 I got for my birthday. Here's the new 210-2. There's 4449. There's the other 462 Daylight. There's 4441 and 97. Oh, man, terrible lighting back there. There's my Montour Camelback right behind the Montour Classics engine. So yeah, never really give an update about here, but using spare parts I had, I'm putting back together my Conrail switcher, and it's part of in Trains for Trade / Sale. It does have a buyer, but I just have to come in contact with them again. But this will sweeten the deal more, but I'll probably ask for a better thing in return from the opposing seller, because now that I'm putting it back together, I think I have a drive shaft problem on this side. I don't have a block that holds the drive shaft in place, so I'll be putting a new one on, and it'll be a smooth runner once more. I gotta find if I have all the truck covers though. But just lube the motor up and all the shafts and the grease on the gears, and it's a really great runner now. I just need to do some drive shaft work. There's the shell. Not really a whole lot going on up here. Yeah, this is kind of my, so much for keeping it under 20 minutes, but just barely. This is kind of my huge update on everything I've done, and it's pretty much everything that needed to be talked about. So let me know what you guys think of everything here. Alright, this is the Deputation.